Hi there. Welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. I'm so glad you're here. Whether you are brand new or a returning subscriber, thank you so much for spending some time and giving me a chance to share my movie review with you. My goal is always to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can decide whether or not you want to spend time or money watching a specific film. So today, the specific film I'm reviewing is called Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. This movie is rated PG and is an hour and 40 minutes. This delightful animation is now playing in theaters. The story is about, guess what? Puss in Boots, of course. I did a trailer reaction to this actually back when the trailer first came out, and I was so excited about this movie and couldn't wait to see what they were going to add to the story. So the story is about Puss in Boots, and he discovers that his passion for adventure has taken its toll. He has burned through 8 of his 9 cat lives. Puss sets out on an epic journey to find the mythical last wish and restore his 9 lives. The screenplay was written by Tommy Swerdlow and Paul Fisher, based on the story by Tom Wheeler. All right, so let me tell you some of the things that I really liked about this movie. First of all, we had to wait 11 years since the last Puss in Boots movie came out back in 2011. That's amazing. Time sure flies because it doesn't seem like it was that long ago. But the question is, was it worth the wait? Well, most audiences are saying yes. First of all, Antonio Banderas is just awesome. I adore him. He can do it all: drama, comedy, musicals, even. I love how he really exaggerates the Spanish accent from Spain. I actually lived in Spain for a couple of years and adore that beautiful country and its people. I love how early on in the movie he says something like, "I'm going to go eat some gazpacho." Because in Spain, they use the letter Z and sometimes the letter C and they pronounce it as a TH. We call it the theta. And everybody else in the Spanish speaking world makes fun of Spain for that. But I love it. Anyway, I think Antonio Banderas, I can never say his name normally. He and Salma Hayek, I think, made a natural pairing with both of their comedic timing and their accents. Listen for the voices of the very talented actors in this cast: Florence Pugh, Olivia Colman, John Mulaney, Harvey Guillen, Divine Joy Randolph, Samson Kayo, Ray Winstone, and Wagner Moura, among more in the cast. This addition in the Puss in Boots franchise does a really great job reminding us that Puss isn't just a suave and debonair fighter, but an actual cat. There's a cuteness battle between Puss and Kitty that just makes for another laugh out loud moment, where Puss in Boots gets his eyes really big and then they kind of up the ante each time. And each time you're just like, oh, cuteness overload. And it's hysterical. The entire movie is just filled with action and humor, visual humor and spoken humor. And the opening sequence was just hilarious and such a strong way to start off the film. Due to the almost nonstop action, the movie has a palpable energy to it. We also see an interesting mixture between 2D and 3D animation in certain events, and that keeps things going visually. And it's interesting as it also creates a very adventurous look by using that style. Now, the story includes several groups of people who are all after the same prize, the ultimate fairy tale prize of a wish. The filmmakers explained that they were influenced by the famous Western movie, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly from 1966, which I thought was interesting. Each set of characters has its own story arc with meaningful lessons to be learned along the way. I love the very sweet moment when a certain character started to have a panic attack and was able to calm down by simply petting a soft, furry dog. That was very sweet. Therapy dog service for a lot of people. So I hope that this addition to the Shrek universe means that we're going to see a lot more of these fun characters soon. Now, with all of that praise, there were some things that I didn't like or thought could have done better. For example, parents might actually get a headache from all of the endless chaotic noise and action. It kind of starts to feel like just one of those TV cartoons where characters are running around and there's, crashes and destruction and loud noises and all that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, wow, okay, we're still doing this. Some of the voices I thought didn't quite match the character's design. There also were just too many villains and characters to keep track of, as all of these various groups are all, having their own mini moments and stories within the big story. And it could have been simplified maybe. Now, some people say, so fun, so great. And I was just like, okay, now we're talking about these people. And anyway, a lot of it has to do with your expectations. And I think my expectation is I wanted more Puss in Boots. We see all Puss in Boots in Act 1 and most of Act 2, but then, well, no, Act 1. And then all of these other people keep coming in. And I'm like, wait, what about Puss in Boots? What's he doing? And then ultimately, it was really sad to see Puss in Boots just wilt under the pressure of imminent death. His bravado was so fun and endearing because he had no fear. And in this movie, he had a lot of fear. And it was just so sad to see him like that. So let me give you some tips for parents. First of all, this is a movie that I think all ages will enjoy. There is humor on every level. The one thing I did appreciate is there's not like a bunch of potty humor. There's adult humor mixed in with stuff that's just funny for all ages. There is alcohol consumed. There is a lot of cartoon violence and mayhem and destruction, as I mentioned, but no profanity. In fact, there are quite a few times when various characters begin to swear, but their words are either cut off or shushed or bleeped out. And there's this one section where this one character just goes on a whole profanity rant, but we don't hear any bad words because it's just like beep, 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 beep. Which parents will appreciate and kids will probably think is funny. So let me tell you about some of the themes that I caught that are worth talking about as a family, especially if you watch this together. So they are courage and fear, and that is courage in the face of fear when you're doing scary things. Also risk. We've always thought that the things that Puss in Boots does are risky, right? Because he's risking life and limb and doing all of these crazy stunts on his adventures. But now in this movie, he has one last life and he's really worried about that. And so he is now more risk averse and taking very safe choices. Other themes are family, of course, panic attacks, death, the value of life, and taking time to smell the roses and appreciate what's right in front of you. And there's a really cute little sequence of scenes about that concept that I thought were just sweet. All right, so whenever I watch movies, I always write down funny lines and interesting lines just so I can share them with you in my review so you can get a little taste for the dialogue. And so here are a few funny lines. I have them all on my written review at moviereviewmom.com, but I'll share a few of them with you right now. So one of the funny lines is somebody Puss in Boots says something and somebody looks at him and he's like, what? Did I say something salty? It's my second language. And he's not swearing, but just saying, I don't know, the things that Puss in Boots says. And then when he starts to take the safe road, he ends up in this home with this little old lady who's got all of these cats, and they're eating this nasty cat food. And, he's just like, this is the rest of my life. And he says, so this is where dignity comes to die. And then there's this little dog who's adorable. His name is Perro, which means dog in Spanish. And he's voiced by Harvey Guillen. And so the little dog says, want to rub my belly? And Puss in Boots says, hard pass. And what's cute is this little dog shows up in the house with all of the cats, trying to disguise himself as a cat so that he can get taken care of. Anyway, hope that's not a spoiler. It's pretty cute. His little character is very cute. And then a serious line, an interesting line. And the hard truth is something that the doctor tells Puss in Boots when he says, remember, death comes to us all. And that's what really frightens Puss in Boots, because he's always felt invincible. And now he's got to face the stark reality. And I love the message of, if you only have one life to live, know that it is precious and enjoy every minute of it. And I loved that message. All right, so as I was watching this movie, I instantly thought of two movies that I wanted to make sure you've seen. The first one that I recommend is Puss in Boots, the very first one that came out. So cute, where we really got to know and love this character. So if you haven't seen that, you definitely should watch that one first, so you kind of get to know his personality better, and then watch this one. And then another movie that you've probably seen is Shrek. But now we didn't really get to know Puss in Boots or really see him until Shrek 2. So that's the one that I'm recommending, so that you can kind of see his origins as he appeared in the Shrek universe. I mean, all of the Shrek movies are awesome. All of the Puss in Boots movies are awesome. So creative, so fun. And anyway, I hope that you'll enjoy this movie. I'm pretty sure you will. It's just a good time to be had by all. Thank you so much for spending time with me and letting me talk about movies. I love them so much. And when you get a minute, run over to Instagram. You can follow me at Movie Review Mom, but you can also find me as Trina Boice. That's my actual name. And you can learn about my 31 nonfiction books and my online courses that I've created for professional development as well as personal enrichment. And you can learn about my daily podcast called Daily Inspirational Quote, hosted by Trina Boice. All right. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.